Guys, this is Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have 5 looks for you using the Natasha Denona bronze palette. So when I saw this come out, I was like, this is beautiful. I am all over it. So this palette actually released on Sephora.com, BeautyLish, and Natasha Denona's website on June 23rd. I opted to pick it up from Sephora because Sephora was having 8% cash back with Ebates, and I was like, that's a lot of cash back, so I'm gonna go with the Sephora option. So I just actually got mine in the mail. You know, shipping's a little slow. COVID, we get it at this point. So I decided to pick this up because I just thought that this was a perfect neutral palette to me. And I am really starting to love Natasha Denona's formula. And if you guys do not know, this is one of the smaller palettes to her collection where she's doing the new reduced size of her packaging and the shadows, but you're not getting reduced quality at all. So this is the 3rd installment. Last year we had the Sunrise palette, which was the 1st installment. And then in between that we had Love. And I love how she's doing that because normally her 15-pan palettes would cost $120. Like we have the Natasha Denona Gold palette right here. That was $120. But I think that this is so much more affordable to get a 15-pan palette for $65. And who are kidding? That's still expensive. But that is kind of more comparable along the lines of maybe picking up a Huda Beauty palette. So you're getting to try Natasha Denona for her great quality and great color combos and formulas that are special to her. So within this palette we have our creamy mattes like this shade called Magma and Ridge and Sundown and Beach, and then we also have her special cream to powder formulation like the shade Deep Dive or Deep Olive, as you hear me keep calling it. And then we have 2 of the standout shades in the palette where we have True Bronze. True Bronze is one of her crystallized formulations, which you see me wearing on my inner corner of my eyes. As you know, Natasha Denona does not use glitter. She uses crystals, and this is what achieves this glistening effect. And then we have the shade True Copper, which is a bright metallic shade. So within this palette, like I said, we have 15 shades. The price is $65. You have this beautiful mirror, and everything is 0.65 ounces or 18.25 grams according to Sephora's website. But actually on the back of the box of Natasha Denona's box, it is saying 19.25 grams. So I'm not sure which one is correct. I didn't feel like doing the math, but we're going to go with Natasha has put on her carton. That is 19.25 grams for the whole palette. Once you open the palette, it is good for 24 months, and the material is recyclable, and the product is made in Italy. So I do have some swatches for you that I will go ahead and insert. So once again, like I said, I have 5 looks for you, and then we'll wrap the video up with some final thoughts at the end. All right, I am so excited to play with this palette. Let's jump in. Eyelid is primed using my Too Faced Multi-Sculpting Concealer in the shade Butterscotch. Let's go ahead and jump in with the palette. I'm going to start off with my Sonia G. This is the Jumbo Blender from the Sky set. And I'm going to start with the shade Sundown. Let's see what she is working with, this mustardy shade. I love a good mustardy shade, so sometimes it is a little hard on my complexion for me to be mustard, but okay. So I'm going to kind of pat it on, and then we'll blend it out. Let's see. Oh, okay. We got color. We got color. That's great. Mind you, I am using like the Jumbo Blender, so you know it's going to kind of space the color out a little bit more versus if I went in more of like the tightly packed blending brush or more of a crease brush per se. So that so far is giving nice color, very smooth shade. Now with a Reference 01 brush, I am going to go in with the shade called Magma, which is a more of a deeper brown red shade. And we're going to pack that right on this outer lid. And this shade is very smooth as well. And I'm just kind of packing and doing feathery motions, how I normally do. Making sure I got extra color right there. You all know I have like a little flap right there for eye. Going in with the Sonia G Classic Crease. Now I'm going to kind of blend this out. And just going back in with a little bit more touch of Sundown to apply to the tail end. transition shade. And then I'm going to go back in with that reference 01 and make sure the color is intense. I'm going to pop in a little bit more with a little bit more. And then just kind of fan that out. Jumping in with that crease, I'm just going to kind of bring this over into the actual crease. Sonia G Builder Pro, I'm going to go in with the shade called Gloaming, and this shade is so pretty. It has like a duochrome flip to it. It's bright red copper with kind of like a gold hint to it, and I'm just going to pack that in right here on the lid. And this is beautiful. I have not wet it, and this is the pure pigment right here on the eyes, and I'm just going to feather that in. And I'm going to kind of bring it up so it meets in the crease. I'm going to go in with a same brush, going to take the shade Silk, and I'm going to pop that in the inner corner, like a little extra hint of sparkle right there, and kind of fan it up. You can leave the look like this, but I'm gonna kind of deepen it up and give it just a little bit more depth. I'm gonna take my Sonia G flat definer brush, going in with the shade called Deep Dive. Here is Deep Dive. I'm going to just put a little bit right here along the lash line. And I didn't want this to be like a liner, but I'm just putting a little bit here and just kind of smoking it into Magma. Just kind of fusing it out. See that little bit just kind of amped up the look just a tiny bit. And I didn't want to like place it over there, so. Alright, so let's jump in with this eye. I wiped this brush off very well. It's the Jumbo Blender. Eyelid is primed with that same concealer. I'm going to jump in the shade Suntan right here, and we're going to use this as our transition shade. And I'm just going to go ahead. Oh man, that is very pigmented. Okay, so we're just going to blend this out. And like I said, this is going to be our transition shade. So far, the shadow is very smooth, and I'm just kind of bringing it into the inner part, kind of providing it like some type of contour for the eye. Jumping in with my Sonia G Blender Pro. So if you know me, I have to go in with high degree all over the lid. I love to take these red coppery shades and just blend them out, and I want to see how it works with this particular shadow, and then I'll go back in and re-intensify. So I just want to blend that out into the shade Suntan. And so far that's blending out very well. It's not too over sparkly. And then just gonna pick up a little bit more color for the crease. Now jumping in with the Builder Pro, and this is from Sonia G as well, and I'm just going to finish patting that pigment so it's more intense on the mobile lid. And I love the sparkle within the shadow. And since I usually have on my nails are a little bit longer, I'm just going to pick it up with my finger so we can see how it reacts. Come on, focus. There's the pigment right here, and see. Oh yeah, with the finger it really, really pops. Just going to press that in, and with that color Suntan, it is beautiful. My flat definer brush by Sonia G, I'm going to pick up a little bit of the shade Bliss, and this also has a duochrome shift to it. It has like kind of like a lime green shift. I'm just going to dab a little of that in the inner corner for a light pop. All right, so I'm gonna go do liner, lashes, the rest of my face. And all right, I am back, and here are the two final looks. I added on my liner, my lashes, and the rest of my makeup. The lashes that I'm using are the Kiss Little Black Dress Lashes, and I'll link those down below. And my lip combo is actually Nightmoth Lip Liner by M.A.C Cosmetics, along with this lip bar lip gloss that's called Class Act. And I kind of thought it went along with the vibes of the collection. And I really like how both of these looks came out. You know, I love this look. I love a good coppery red shadow. It just fuels me, and I can just put it all over the lid and go. And even though I have many shadows like this, I still think this one is a little bit different because it has so many gold reflex in it, and it just vibes well with that shade. What did I put in the inner corner? That inner corner shade was Bliss. And Bliss is so beautiful because it has a little bit of the light lime green reflex in it, but this is a little bit hard to see on camera. And then I love the simplicity of this look. I think Magma is a great deepening shade without having to dip into into deep olive. But when you dip into deep olive, it just kind of gives it a little extra boost that it needs without taking it too dark. And I love the shade that we put on there, Gloaming. It is so pretty, and it's just giving all the bronze vibes. And I've seen this look for every day-ish. And if you don't want to add in the deep olive, which makes it a little bit darker, you can leave that out, and it'll be definitely daytime appropriate. And this one I just see like daytime, whatever you're doing, special occasion, and I just love how both of them look. Sonia G Jumbo Blender, and I'm going to take the shade called Beach, which is right here. This is one of the lightest shades in the palette, and we're going to throw this in the transition area. Oh, and it does have some color on me, so it does show up. So it does give a nice hint, just provides a nice contour. Ooh, I like that color. Okay. I'm just going to take a little bit more, spread it out. Or blend it out rather. And that is the shade Beach. So I'm really liking how that looks. It's just a nice little hint of color. Now taking it all the way there with the smokiness in this look, I'm gonna go in with that Reference 01, and we're gonna go in with Deep Dive right here. And we're gonna pick up some of my brush, and I'm gonna start placing this in the outer corner. An ever so small amount of fallout, probably because I had too much on my brush, but this is a creamy matte formulation, and this formulation allows you to blend it out at first. This is a creamy matte formulation, so this formulation allows you to blend out this deep dark shade with ease, so you don't have to be intimidated by it. And I'm just kind of packing it in to how I like it to be. And then I will go ahead and wing it out in a second. I'm just kind of making sure it's dark along that baseline. Going in with the Sonia G Mini Booster right here, I'm just going to kind of feather it out along the brow line. And it blends in really nice with Beach. I really like how that looks. I'm just kind of going back and forth with some light windshield. I can't speak. I'm just going back and forth with some light windshield wiper movements. And I'm just making sure everything is kind of even there. I'm going to pick up that Reference 01 one more time. I'm going to pick it up and go to my little problem area right there. There we go. And then going back with that mini booster, I'm going to finish blending that out. And I'm going to kind of pull it out and kind of work some kind of down below to the lower lash line. Going in with a Sonia G Builder Pro, I'm going to take the shade Rhodium, which is that purple shade that's right next to it. Here she is. There we go. And I'm just going to start working that into the lid right here, kind of bringing it in. And that is a beautiful shade. It's very pretty. And I'm kind of going all the way in with that look. And with my finger, I'm going to pick up a little bit of Palladium, which is right here. And I'm going to kind of pat that in between the Deep Dive and the Rhodium shade, just to give it a little extra effect, and just kind of using all the shadows in the palette so you guys can see a look how they perform. That is really pretty. I'm just going to go in with a tiny bit more on my finger. I don't want to take away from the shade Rhodium, but I think that just gives it a little extra effect. Now going back with that same brush, which is the Beauty Pro. You would think I would know these brushes names by now, but I don't. So there we are. And I'm just going to kind of keep bringing this around, tracing it up into that inner corner. And same brush, I just wiped it off well, like I usually do in my little towel. I am going to take the shade, let's take Silk. I have used that before, but I know if I put True Bronze on the inner corner, it's going to be too flaky just from the texture. And I'm just going to pop a tiny bit right here in the eye, in the inner corner. That is lovely. It's a definitely going out look. Going in, this is the flat definer, going in with Deep Olive. And I'm just going to run this along that lower lash line. All right, that is really, really pretty. It is smoky, but it's not too smoky. All right, let's jump into this eye prime using my same concealer as always. Let's go ahead and pick up the shade Ridge, which is this beautiful mustardy tone matte. It's the only matte we have not used in the palette. Same jumbo blender, wiped it off really well. Ooh, and I'm kind of pressing down, and then I'm going to blend out. And I like the way that looks. That is very beautiful. Just adding a little bit in, and I'm bringing a little bit into the front of the eye like a contour. Which is a great way, like if you don't really particularly care for your eye shape, or you want to kind of change it up, give a little dimension, more dimension to your look, just bring that transition shade in there, because look, it just helps. Just kind of build that contour of your eye shape. Going in Sonia G Crease Pro, I'm going to take the shade Magma right here, and we're going to build that in the crease right underneath that shade Ridge. I'm just going to blend this kind of back and forth, and I want a little bit of a gradient. And we're going to kind of blow it out. And bring that out in that outer V area. And I'm just making it sure it's smooth along that brow line. Now with that Refer 1, we're going to go into Deep Dive. Because I want to see how this shade plays against some of the more bronzy tones. And I'm going to just pack that in to my outer V. And I'm kind of keeping it tight. The G Mini Booster, I'm going to go ahead and bring some of the edges out. I'm going to blend that out. And I'm going to go back in with that Refer number 1. Make sure we got enough pigment on the lash line part of the eye. And back in the Crease Pro, I'm going to pick up a little bit more of Magma and just kind of place that around the shade Deep Olive or Deep Dive. Why do I keep, I don't know. Just forgive me. I can't talk today. And with my finger, you know I don't usually use my fingers a lot, but I am going to go in with the shade called True Copper. It's a little bit more of a chunkier shade, so I think it will do well with the finger. It's very creamy, metallic shade. And I'm going to start popping that on my lid, and that is beautiful. Wow, look at that. So pretty. Going in, Sonia G Beauty Pro, I will start kind of fixing the shape of the shadow that I laid down. And let's pick up a little bit with the brush so we see how it works. Oh yeah, it's working. It works nice with the brush. And that shade, Deep Dive, along with this True Copper shade, is just gorgeous. I'm gonna pick up that reference 01 just a little bit more. We're gonna place just a little bit more of Deep Dive right there. And with another Sonia G Beauty Pro, I'm gonna take a little bit of the shade Alloy right here in the middle. We haven't used that shade yet. And we're going to kind of meet it with that shade that is True Copper. And it is pretty, it's a little chunkier also. So we'll see. And I'm gonna kind of blend the two together because yes, and that gave us the brightness. This look. Oh, that Alloy shade is pretty magnificent. That is gorgeous. Let's take the flat definer. We're gonna go in with Deep Dive and we're gonna place that on the bottom lash line. And I'm just gonna kind of take whatever extra product and I'm gonna just kind of wrap Alloy around into that. And then I'll clean up and fix my concealer because I do have a little bit of fallout, and probably that's because I probably picked up a tiny bit too much on my brush. Okay, so here are the looks. I'm gonna add my lashes and liner. All right, I'm back with the next two looks, and I really love how they both turned out. So when you look at this eye alone, it's like, it's no way that you're getting that this eye look came from a bronze palette or a palette that is majority golds, browns, and mustard shades. So I really like how you can pull that together and get a little versatility in this palette. And this is like a perfect look for going out, and it's smoky, but it's not too dark. And it's kind of like approachable smoky eye, as I like to call it. And then this one, you kind of have fire, coppery bronze. And I just love how these look. And this is kind of like sometimes my go-to look. Sometimes when I'm just, I don't know what to do, I will put some copper and a little gold together with a deeper brown. And I love how the tone of Deep Dive just kind of changes. So on this eye, it's more brown, and you don't see so much of the purple, but then you still get a little bit of the undertone of the purple, where this one is truly pulling purple based on the other shades. So I do like how having that mixture, it just kind of makes it a little bit different when you're just so used to seeing a traditional dark brown right here in this outer V, but just the tones and the way they complement each other is fabulous. So let's go ahead and get down to the last look. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the last look. Going in the Sonia G, this is the Jumbo Blender, and I'm going to go with the shade Sundown. Oh, Jesus, if I don't drop the palette. There we go. There is Sundown. I'm just going to go ahead and pop this in the transition area. And I'm going to leave it more so kind of up here. I just love this shade. It's so pretty. And I'm just going to blend it back and forth. With the classic crease brush from Sonia G, going in with the shade Suntan right here at the top. And I'm just going to pop that actually in the crease. And I don't want to cover up what we put up here. So I'm just going to kind of concentrate this a little bit over further and bring it in to the inner corner. And I'm just going to blend this on out. Now going in with my reference 01, I'm going to take the shade Hydrogrip right here, and I am going to place this in the outer V. So pretty. And I'm just going to kind of fan it up into the crease on the outer corner. And I'm just going to kind of bring this up and bring it over just a tiny bit. With my flat definer brush by Sonia G, going in with a little bit of a deep dive, or deep olive as I like to call it. And I'm just going to kind of run that right in there, just kind of how we did with the first look, and make that shade just a little deeper. And I'm just going to kind of just rub it on top. There we go. With my finger, I'm going to go in with True Bronze, because this is a chunkier shade and has a lot of well, I mean, it's not so much. Oh, let me see. Yeah, it's not super chunky, but oh, I love how it's really bright. But the way the pigments are, it's kind of easier just to use your finger. That is beautiful. You get so much shine when using your finger. And then I'll just kind of go back in with my brush. Taking my Sonia G Builder Pro, I'm gonna go in with Palladium, and I'm gonna pop that in the center between High Degree and True Bronze. Ooh, that's cute. Yep, that's really pretty. Now I wipe that brush off really well, and I'm gonna go ahead and kind of just get this how I want it to be. That was the shade True Bronze that we laid down with my finger. All right, so this is the part of the video where during the fifth look, my eye starts betraying me because I've been removing looks. So we're gonna give this eye a break for a second. So I really like how this looks, but I want more depth. So I'm going to go in with the shade Deep Dive, and we're gonna smoke it out a little bit more. Refer 01 brush. And it feels like my eyelash is in my eye, but I don't think it's in my eye. I think it was like some floating makeup particles, to be honest. Okay, so I'm gonna place that right up in there, and then I will smoke it out with High Degree. Ew, that's cute. It's gonna be cute. I can feel it. I can feel it. All right, so I added Deep Dive in. Now I'm gonna go back in with a little bit more High Degree. I'm taking my Sonia G, and this is the Blender Pro. And then I'm just gonna kind of work the two together. Oh, that's really pretty how that meshes together. Now we're just getting like bronzy goodness. Right, so I have finished at my liner and my lashes, and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back, and this is the fifth and final look, and I hope you guys love it. I think it came out really, really pretty, and it kind of took a little bit building, but now that you see what the shades are capable of, like how I started in with the shade in the corner for High Degree, but then ended up wanting to intensify it more with Deep Dive, and it just really brought out that nice purple flavor to the look, and along with True Bronze and that crystal formulation, it is so pretty. So I added on the same lashes, kept a little bit neutral with the lip. I went with 1993 by Urban Decay. I'll link all my lip combos down in the bottom. I've been having fun switching out some of the lips because, like I've been saying, you know, with the virus, when I go to work, I just put on a mask. So my lipsticks have definitely been getting neglected. But let's go ahead and get into the palette. I mean, honestly, come on. We got mustards, golds, bronzes, red tones, and purples. That's like right up my alley. So this is my type of neutral palette. I think it's gorgeous. And I know a lot of people think it's boring, but when I saw it, I was like, honestly, I was like, I'm buying that. I'm fooling with it. It is gorgeous. This is definitely my type of neutrals. And I just love the formula of the palette. I love the color combos. It's gold, it's bronze, it has my red tones I love, and I love how it has the deepening shade of Deep Dive, where it's more of a purple based brown versus just a deep dark brown. And I love that she put it in that cream to powder formulation because it makes it just so much easier to blend out. And as you saw, to mix in with other colors to kind of intensify the hue of those other shades where you just don't want to go in with deep dye. So I think you get a lot of different combinations and varieties of gold. If you are like somebody who just wants a simple palette, easy breezy, no fuss, I think that this is the palette for you. I think it's beautiful and everything works so well together. The Sundown shade, Ridge, and Beach, they actually pull on my complexion and actually give you some definition and some variety to create your looks. I'm loving the shade High Degree. You already know those type of shades. When I did that second look over here where I just love to blend it out all over my eye, I live for that type of shade. So when I saw this in the palette, I was like, yep, that's me. And Bliss is beautiful where it has that lime green shift to it. It is really, really pretty. And the shades True Copper and True Bronze are really standout metallics. Like you see, I have True Bronze on right now and it's in that Chroma Crystal formulation of her. So overall, I think Natasha Denona definitely hit it out the park with this palette. I love the packaging. I love how foiled it looks. I mean, it's picking up my ring light right here. The only thing is like these type of palettes, they just pick up all the fingerprints, but I love this mini pan palette series and this is definitely a standout to this particular collection. The Love palette was just but this one and the one that she came out with last year, which was the Sunset, are honestly very great palettes, and I think that this is an awesome addition to her collection. So for me, I know a lot of people are saying like, oh, it looks like Biba, oh, it looks like Sunset and slash Sunrise, and then a little bit of maybe Safari mixed in between, but I don't have Biba and I don't have Safari and I don't have the Sunrise palette. I have I can't ever remember. I have Sunrise, I don't have Sunset. So I think that this kind of stands alone in my collection as far as Natasha Denona. Now I do have the Metropolis palette, but I do think that they are different enough to just have this palette on their own. And I really feel like this is a palette whenever, you know, outside really opens up and we're allowed to really travel again, that when I would go out of the country, I would just take this palette with me and be very satisfied because I could get so many complementary looks between the golds and the bronzes and the reds, and then that little pop of purple. I think it works out really great. So I'm really feeling this palette. So let me know which looks you like down below. I really love how this look came together, and I love how the transition of the red and the deep dive shade. And then I love the second look. I loved all the looks actually. They were great. I think this is going to be a palette that I'm going to be using and loving and abusing because I could just pop this on to go to work and be so happy. So let me know which look you like down below, and give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because you already know I would love to have you in my little makeup family. And with that being said, you already know what time it is. It is time for the chair dance. Hey, chair dance. Hey, chair dance. Chair dance. Chair dance. All right, guys. Bye.